Good
Okay.
afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I would like to welcome you, and I would like to start our next session uh, directly without any break, because we are also running out of time. So I would like to welcome you in this 5 days program, and for your information, sir, we are having participants of assistant engineers level from Tamil Nadu, from Rural Development and Panchayati Raj. We are having our participants from Punjab Police Housing Corporation, scientists from CSIO Chandigarh, and AEs from UT Construction Division, and some of the faculty members from engineering colleges. So, participants, now we will have our next lecture on smart parking, because Sandeep Sharma ji is AE at Municipal Corporation, and he has done various projects on parking at Delhi. So he will share his experience and experience with us. And in the meantime, I would like to request Dr. Sanjay Sharma to kindly say a few words.
And I welcome Sandeep Sharma ji.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Sharma ji, welcome. And
Thank you, sir.
let me correct Amit slightly. Sharma ji was with TDA, and he has been basically instrumental in construction of one smart parking system in Kamala Nagar, I think, in Delhi.
Yes, sir. So I am North Delhi Municipal Corporation.
Okay, it's a Delhi Municipal Corporation. Now I think he has basically moved out from that place, and now he is working as a consultant for.
Sir, for a consultancy firm, Tunneling, it is a Swiss-based Lombardy engineering
Yes.
consultant.
So, so that too is experience. In addition to that, he is working in that section also. So I think we are already getting it. So again, I will extend a very warm welcome to our expert and request you to kindly continue with your presentation. You can share your presentation, sir. You will find a button present now. From there, you can share your presentation.
Very nice to know about all of the participants. I am Sandeep Sharma, working in Municipal Corporation of Delhi, and just planning to switch over from the Municipal Corporation. Now, all of you know that Delhi is reeling under the double attack of pollution and this COVID-19. So thanks to the technology that we are able to connect with each other. And I am also suffering from COVID positive for your information, and just quarantine at home. But I am feeling well. I am feeling well and able to participate in this program. So now I will be sharing my screen.
Good.
Is there some issue in sharing this screen?
Sir, the screen has not been shared as yet. So once you click on present now, sir, click on your entire screen, then a new window will come up. So in that window, you have to click in the window that is there inside it. Then the share button will be enabled.
Okay, yeah. I could do this.
Yes, sir. Now it is coming up, sir.
Yes.
So just minimize the screen and open your presentation.
Is it visible to all?
Yes, sir. You can click on the slideshow. And sir, in the bottom of the screen, you can click on that hide button besides stop sharing. Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, I am also visible.
Yes, sir. You are also visible. Presentation is also visible.
Okay. Thank you very much. So just I have to.
Yeah.
So
now it is coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, I am going to present today on smart and sustainable parking system. So I am not an academician. Just I will share my experience of field work, what I have done over the past 10 to 12 years. I have been associated with the major projects of multi-level parking in bridges in North Delhi Municipal Corporation. So I will be sharing my experience. So my approach will be the parking problems in the cities, present parking scenario, and brief on smart city concept, parking demand assessment, parking policies, type of parkings, and second will be the use of technology, how the parking can be made smart, parking management, and use of technology. Then, if time permits, we can discuss the case study of Kamranagar parking. So this everybody knows what is the situation in major cities, metro cities. The parking scenario is worsening day by day, and we have to find a solution to this. The present parking scenario is parking is receiving increased attention in India in response to the growth in passenger and commercial vehicles over the last few years, which in turn has led to congestion on the roads. It is estimated that on average the vehicle is in motion for only about 5% of the time. Providing suitable parking spaces is a challenge for traffic engineers and planners in the scenario of ever increasing vehicle population. Furthermore, scarcity of land. This is a major issue in big cities or cities like Delhi or Bombay. The scarcity of land and its high premium value. It is difficult to provide adequate parking space. While over a period of time, parking supply may remain constant, parking demand seems usually growing. So that is a great concern which we have to address. Many factors can be attributed to the growth of growth in parking demand. The key factors among them being the overall growth in travel demand. The changing face of the economy entails greater movement of people. Actually, what is happening nowadays, urbanization is taking place. At present, we have 31% urbanization, which is likely to grow by the end of this decade to about 40%. So, so there is a urgent need of strengthening the cities and infrastructure. The various initiatives have been taken by the government agencies. The Government of India flagship program, Smart City Mission, and Atal Mission for Regeneration and Urban Transformation. I identify parking as one of the thrust areas for developing an efficient and smart transportation system and in any city. The urban local bodies in Delhi, Bengaluru, and Dehradun, and many other cities are taking these initiatives to develop the parking project on PPP basis. Provisions have been made for management of parking in Master Plan of Delhi 2021. When the Master Plan MPD 2021 came in 2007, that there were very little provisions about the parking, but later on these were seeing the demand of parking. These were later on added. Provisions for street parking have also been made in the Unified Building Bylaws in Delhi in 2016. Draft parking policy has been published by Transport Department of Delhi in consultation with various stakeholders. Parking issue is being monitored by Environment Pollution Authority, headed by Shri Bhurelal, Chairman, under the directions of Supreme Court. The Smart City Mission, it was launched in July 2015, focuses on local development of infrastructure, exploitation of technology to develop cities as method of creating smart outcomes for the people. The objective is to promote cities that provide core infrastructure and give a decent quality of life. Basically, the intent is to make a decent quality of life for the citizens. So key elements, the major elements are smart energy, smart mobility, smart water and wastewater, smart governance, and smart building. So the parking is a component of smart mobility. Smart mobility solutions, emphasis on reducing congestion and fostering faster, greener, and cheaper transport options. connected and sustainable multimodal transport, automated ticketing, fare collection system, user information system, automated signaling system, incident management, vehicle health monitoring system, electric vehicle charging, automated toll collection system. So various aspects are again smart traffic management, smart smart parking management, and smart emergency vehicle prioritization. So various stakeholders for this parking management are government agencies. Their obligations are to formulate parking policies, to provide adequate parking infrastructure, engage parking contractors for O&M, enforcement and penalties. So, other stakeholders are parking contractors. They are responsible for operation and maintenance of parking, the collection of revenue, install parking management devices, and lastly the users, public. So, to intend to find hassle-free parking space on destination with minimal waiting time and avoid places with no parking available. Use of technology for information regarding space availability. The primary agencies in Delhi are municipal corporations, New Delhi Municipal Council, and Delhi Development Authority. These agencies are responsible for providing public parking. Apart from above, the respective government private agencies are responsible for providing parking facility at below mentioned places like airports. The airport will provide parking for the users of airport, railway station, likewise bus terminals, metro stations, commercial malls and cinema halls, office complexes. But in general areas, the municipal corporation and DDA is responsible for providing parking spaces for public. So these are some basic facts about Delhi. The area of Delhi is 1,483 square kilometer. Green cover is 21.88 as of now. Population more than 1.7 crore. Registered vehicles are 1.13 crore. Road length is 33,000 kilometers. Signalized intersections are 864. So vehicle growth, if we see over the previous years, the vehicle growth is like this. In 2018-19, we have 616 vehicles per 1,000 population, and this is increasing year on year. So, parking demand assessment. So for providing parking facilities to the public and parking infrastructure, so first we have to do the parking demand assessment. For designing a parking system in an area, the assessment of parking demand is based on the primary as well as secondary data collected from the field. For this, we do traffic surveys, arrival pattern, departure pattern, parking accommodation, parking duration, parking turnover, pedestrian flows, on-street parking, off-street parking, traffic impact assessment, environment impact assessment. Study methodology, site appreciation. Site appreciation is important in constructive suitability of site, its connectivity with the adjoining area, land use, current parking scenario, topographic and geotechnical surveys. Then data collection. Data is an important aspect of any study. Following primary surveys to provide key range and scales of data for the purpose of analysis and understanding the issues from the several perspectives. Reconnaissance survey, analysis of locations to find out the site details and right of ways of road network and available carriageways, field work. Parking demand surveys, parking characteristics and demand in residential and commercial areas. Analysis of parking surveys done to find out parking accommodation, parking volume, parking load, parking turnover. This we will be discussing. Traffic flow surveys, traffic flow characteristics in adjoining road network, on-site surveys and observation. The major roads identified passing through the area, what traffic load, what is available capacity, determining their respective levels of service and congestion levels. User survey, Uses and opinion surveys of visitors, residents, and traders of the area. Sample questionnaire survey for willingness to pay, footfall count, and customer attraction outlook. So this is important. We have to find how the people are willing to pay. Otherwise, there will be unauthorized parking. People are more interested in parking their vehicle unauthorizedly, for which they don't have to pay anything. That is the problem. Pedestrian flow survey. Data analysis. Analysis is done for various parameters related to parking demand, like parking accumulation, turnover, hourly arrival, hourly departures, and projection of demand for parking and traffic flow. Joint surveys with various utility agencies. If we have to create a parking facility at some location, we have to find that if any underground services are passing through the area. For that, we have to survey the area jointly with the utility agencies, so that those can be shifted to suitable place. The parking statistics. Since duration of parking varies with different vehicles, several statistics are used to assess the parking needs. The following parking statistics are important. Parking accumulation. It is defined as a number of vehicles parked at a given instant of time. Normally, this is expressed by accumulation curve. Accumulation curve is a graph obtained by plotting the number of bays occupied with respect to time. As the time goes on, say 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, the number of vehicles come in. We plot a graph with time and accumulation. So that is known as parking accumulation with time. The parking volume. Parking volume is the total number of vehicles parked at a given duration of time. For example, between 9 to 10 a.m. or between 9 to 12 a.m., how many vehicles have been parked in a particular parking? That is the parking volume. This does not account for the repetition of vehicles. The actual volume of vehicles entered in the area is recorded. The parking load. Parking load gives the area under the accumulation. If we can say number of cars into time duration. It can also be obtained by simply multiplying the number of vehicles occupying the area at each time interval with the time interval. It is expressed as vehicle hours. Average parking duration. It is a ratio of total vehicles hours to the number of vehicles parked. That is parking load divided by parking volume. Now parking turnover. It is a ratio of number of vehicles parked in a duration with the number of parking bays available. This can be expressed as number of vehicles per bay per time duration. Means parking volume divided by number of bays available. Parking index. Parking index is also called occupancy or efficiency. It is defined as the ratio of number of bays occupied in a given duration to the total space available. It gives the aggregate measure to how effectively the parking space is utilized. Suppose parking capacity is 1,000. If at a particular duration there are 800 cars parked, then the parking index will be 80%. So there are some provision in MPD 2021 with phenomenal increase in personalized motor vehicles. One of the major problems we face today is an acute shortage of parking space. In the absence of adequate organized parking space and facilities, valuable road space is being used for vehicular parking. The problem of parking in the city can be broadly divided into the following categories. So along a street, in planned commercial centers, in residential colonies, in the large institutional complexes. Experience has shown that the provisions related to parking within the plot area are normally not adhered to, resulting in vehicles spilling over onto the roads and adding to the congestion, which is a general scenario in the major cities. The lack of enforcement and inadequate policy interventions has resulted in growth of parking demand along with growth of vehicles in the cities. Amit ji, am I audible now?
You're perfectly audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. parameters for the National Mission on Sustainable Habitat state that parking management strategy should be aimed at encouraging more efficient use of existing parking facilities, reduce parking demand, shift travel to non-private modes. These are parking management issues. Individual user of personal vehicles should pay for the use of space for parking. Actually, parking is not seen as a public facility. It is seen as a commodity. One has to pay for the actual use of space for parking. Therefore, the user pay principle should govern the principle of pricing of parking. Parking is a consumer commodity, not a legal right. No subsidized parking is to be provided in public spaces. In areas designated for public parking, short-term parking must be prioritized over the long-term parking in order to maximize turnover and enable economic vibrancy. So what we can see from all this that there should be a paradigm shift of the public perception that till now the public is habitual of using free parking spaces, but for making the cities smarter, making the things better, making the cities livable, so we have to enforce all these types of regulations which have been recently formulated for towards achieving this goal. Parking management must be effectively used as a tool to reduce overall demand for parking space. Parking and enforcement will be the key drivers to eliminate or reduce long-term on-street parking demand for private vehicles. Parking is permitted in all use zone except recreational open spaces. It is restricted in recreational open spaces, which are green areas or uh, ridge areas, which shall not be used or converted for parking. No environmentally sensitive land shall be used, converted for parking of any kind. Surface parking would only be provided to meet the parking requirement of the park premise. Creation of underground parking structures within or under green recreational spaces is prohibited under all circumstances. Parking spaces will be adequately provided on priority basis for IPT. IPT means intermediate public transport, pick and ride and feeder system, especially non-motorized transport and fully subsidized. Now parking pricing. The following pricing strategies be employed to manage and bring down the public parking space demand. Pricing of parking should be based on the principle of user pay, reflecting the cost of the public good, precious urban space. Current parking rates in the cities are low and act as a hidden subsidy to the car owners. Parking rates should be freed up and market driven. Parking revenue should be augmented and utilized to create a dedicated fund for public transport. Till last 4 5 years, the parking price in Delhi was only 10 rupees for the entire duration for the whole day. Now the parking rates have been increased and these are based on hourly use basis. No government subsidized parking for private motor vehicle is to be provided in public spaces or roads. High parking fee should be charged in order to make the use of public transport system attractive. Efforts should be made to make cycle parking attractive to promote use of cycling. Implement localized variable scale of parking fee based on time, location, and use based local demand and congestion levels. As a thumb rule, higher the congestion, higher the fee to be levied in the area to reduce the parking demand. Now, parking is residential area. This is another problem. In residential communities, people hardly find the space to park their vehicles. In Delhi, either the residences are flatted or very small plots, so it is not possible to park the vehicle inside their houses or dwelling units. So the people are forced to park their vehicle on a street. So parking for all vehicles of any residential building, group housing, commercial building, etc., to be provided within the plot area. Now certain regulations have been formulated for parking in residential area. Parking outside the plot area, that is the ROW of road or public spaces, will not be permissible and should be penalized. Paid on-street and off-street parking to be developed for long-term and short-term parking provisions. Problem of congestion arising on account of the traffic generated by schools have to be specifically addressed, and the main responsibility for putting up the required additional facilities has to be borne by the schools themselves. So these are some parking standards given in the master plan. For residential area, 2 ECS. ECS means equivalent car space for per 100 square meter floor area is to be provided. Normally, a dwelling unit comprises of 100 square meters, so one residential unit should have space for two ECS, 2 cars. For commercial, it is 3 ECS per 100 square meter. For manufacturing unit, it is 2 ECS per 100 square meter. For government offices, 1.8. Public and semi-public facilities, 2. All use premises within TOD. TOD means transit-oriented zones. So it is 1.8 per 100 square meter. This means this much provision for authorized parking spaces is to be made while planning these infrastructure. Space standard for car parking. For open space, the standard is 23 square meter per ECS. This includes the circulation area as well. Likewise, ground floor covered area, it is 28 ECS per square meter. For basement, it is 32 ECS per square meter. 32 square meter per ECS, multi-level with ramp, 30 square meter per ECS. Automated multi-level with lifts, 16 square meter per ECS. This much space is required for creating the parking facility. Now, recently, a parking policy has also been drafted by the Transport Department, Government of Delhi. This again, some key features are I have mentioned here. The city of Delhi has more than 1 crore registered vehicle, which is more than the total number of vehicles in metropolitan cities in India. The ingress of traffic from the neighboring NCR town also adds significantly to the congestion on the roads of Delhi. Parking policy has been drafted to provide a solution to the ever-increasing parking problem in Delhi. The parking policy envisages rationalization of parking charges, parking in commercial areas, parking in residential areas, parking management on roadsides, enforcement issues, increasing use of technology for efficient parking management, etc. Some of the vacant plots in the developed colonies can be developed as parking lots for the residents on payment of appropriate parking charges. Park and ride facilities are the key to good parking management. It is being proposed that shuttle services may be provided at parking lots which are far away from the markets. The brief recommendations of the UT-PAC are as under. UT-PAC is basically a traffic and transport agency which approves the proposals related to parking and traffic. Parking management should be used as a demand management tool to decrease use of private vehicles and thus reduce overall demand for parking and shift travel to public transport, paratransport, and non-motorized modes. No subsidized parking is to be provided in public places. User must pay full cost of parking facility based on land opportunity cost, capital cost, O&M cost, and temporal demand. Spaces already designated for parking must be utilized to highest efficiency and financial viability. Parking for paratransit feeder modes to be prioritized and subsidized. Short-term parking to be prioritized over long-term parking in order to maximize turnover and enable economic viability. Short-term parking to be encouraged. Typically, on-street parking may be priced at 3 times of off-street parking because on-street parking adds to the traffic congestion also. So that is to be restricted. So one way is to increase the price level. So it is proposed that this may be charged at 3 times the normal parking charges, off-street parking charges. On-street parking may be priced for every half-hour slots, increasing exponentially as per formula 2 into plus 10, where x is the charge for the previous hour. So likewise, we can go on increasing price with the time. Overnight parking and commercial vehicles. Commercial vehicles such as goods vehicles, buses, taxis, auto rickshaw, e-rickshaw are being parked on the public streets only. The overnight parking of buses, trucks, tourist buses, vans, water tankers, containers, etc. may be allowed only along notified roads during night hours only, upon certain payment to the local bodies, PWDs. These should not be allowed to park free of cost. The number of taxis on aggregator platforms has increased to a humongous number in recent years without ensuring availability of parking space. Taxi aggregators like Ola and Uber have also increased the demand of the parking on roads. So this has to be addressed. Some policy has to be made for this. Either designated parking spaces are to be created for these, or they can be priced by making some policy. So this is the number of registered vehicles in Delhi. This table shows, we can see that there is a growth, but for the last year in 2018-19, we can see there is some negative growth and some little growth in number of cars, but there is a considerable growth in two-wheelers. This negative growth may be due to use of public transport like metros and Ola, Uber cabs. So here we can see this includes the e-rickshaw and maxi cabs. So there is a growth in this. So personalized vehicles are growing at a relatively lesser rate. Even then, overall growth rate is 3.69%. So the number of vehicles has crossed 1.13 crores. This is area aesthetic. This is not based on any standards. This I have only assumed that how much space is required by a car, how much space is required by a motorcycle, ambulance, and other vehicles. So just assuming that 12.5 square meter space is required to park a car without considering the circulation area. Even if we just park the car side by side, so this much area will be required for this much number of cars. These figures have been taken for registered numbers of vehicles, and this much area for each vehicle, and total area will be required for this much. Even if we don't provide a circulation area, so this much minimum space will be required. So I have calculated that this 7897 hectare or 78 square kilometers, around 79 square kilometers area will be required. The area of Delhi is 1493 square kilometer, and we can see that more than around 6% of the area of Delhi is required for parking the vehicles. NGT, National Green Tribunal, has also issued some directions that it is ordered to scrap the vehicles more than 15 years old Delhi is estimated to have more than 1 crore vehicles, and out of these, 30 lakh vehicles are unusable on this criteria. Petrol vehicles which are more than 15 years old and diesel vehicles which are more than 10 years old shall not be registered in Delhi. It has to be ensured that no parking is permitted on metal road. Means we cannot allow the vehicle to be parked on carriageway, which is meant for movement of traffic. It has to be ensured that there shall be no unauthorized parking on the streets. So now we will see the types of parking and financial modeling and details of various projects in Delhi. So these are some examples of surface parking. On-street parking. On-street parking means vehicles parked on the side of a street itself. Common types of parking may be parallel parking, like you can see in figure. But these take the longer length of the road. Therefore, only a minimum number of vehicles can be parked for a given curb length. At 30% parking, vehicles are parked at an angle of 30 degree with respect to the road alignment. In this case, more vehicles can be parked compared to parallel parking, but slightly more width is occupied by the parking. Similarly, 45-degree parking, 60-degree parking, right angle parking. This takes a maximum width, but more number can be accommodated in a given length. Off-street parking. This can be created in a plot which is adjacent to the roadside. In many urban centers, some areas are exclusively allotted for parking, which are at some distance away from the main stream of the traffic. Such parking is referred to off-street parking. Similarly, to make the use of land more judiciously, the multi-level parkings are created. Conventional ramp type parking, underground and above ground. These are ramp type multi-level parking structures above or underground. In this type of parking, owner driver is required to drive the car to the designated parking slot at designated floor. Fully automated parking. These parking are provided in multi-level below or above ground floors with three-dimensional fully automatic mechanical devices. The car is parked by the owner at a designated slot at maneuvering level, from where the car is taken by the mechanical system to the designated slot. The entire parking process is controlled at a monitor in a control room. So the owner is not allowed to access the parking. This is fully automated parking. So we have one created at Kamra Nagar, and some more have been constructed by other departments also, like in front of High Court, multi-level automatic parking has been constructed, and at Connaught Place and Sarojini Nagar markets, those have been constructed by NDMC. There are another semi-automated parking or stack parking. In semi-automated parking, some movements are through mechanical devices, whereas others are manual. Multi-level parking with lifts. In this type of parking, car lifts are provided for taking the cars to the desired floor level, above or below ground. Then car is parked manually through driveways to the designated slot by the attendants. This is not fully automatic, but vertical lifts are provided to park the car at different floors. Stack parking. These are multi-level parking, generally made of steel structure operated through electronic motors or hydraulic arrangements for parking retrieval. Parking retrieval of the car, a control panel with parking slot number is provided each way, which is operated manually. Stack parking may be of two types: dependent parking, independent parking. In dependent parking, the car parked at the level can be retrieved after deparking the lower level car. If the cars are parked one over the other, then the below car is to be taken out, then only then the upper car can be deparked. In independent parking, there is puzzle type system. If it can be retrieved independently without disturbing the other parked cars, empty dummy slots are to be left for puzzle movement of the cars. Stilt parking, as we see in today's building construction, residential complexes and other commercial complexes, the one ground floor is uh, left for parking spaces. This is called stilt parking. This is non-habitable portion of a building above ground level, consisting of structural columns supporting the superstructure, and is used for parking of cars, scooters, cycles, etc. These are some pictographical images. This is puzzle parking, multi-floor type parking. This is tower type parking. This is rotary wheel type parking. So this is at Connaught Place we have been able to create surface parking. This is off-street parking basically. So the parking space was available earlier also, but now the proper with the use of technology and information system, this has been properly managed. So this has been done by New Delhi Municipal Council (NDMC). So at entry you can say there is a display board. This shows the number of parking spaces available and how much cars are parked presently and how much spaces are empty. So user can get the information before taking the car into the parking. So these are the control units installed at the entry and exit, vehicle detection and vehicle detection sensor and boom barriers. So the off-street parking is managed well. This you can see. This is the exit area. So people take the car after paying the due charges, which are calculated on the hourly basis. So now the major problem is the construction of parking facility or management of parking spaces. The most important factor is the finance. So who is going to finance this? Because government is not having much more funds for the creation of parking facilities. So some financial management is to be adopted for this purpose. Normally the parking projects are developed by North DMC from the following funds depending upon the availability. Revenue from registration of cars. Actually MCD gets some part of revenue from the registration of cars from the transport department. So that we use for creating parking facilities. Parking charges collected from establishment on mixed land use commercial roads. So over the years, some roads have been declared as mixed land use roads and commercial roads. So from the commercial units running on these roads, we have collected one-time parking charges from the shop owners, and we are utilizing those as well for parking management and creation of parking facilities. Funds provided by Ministry of Urban Development. MOUD has provided funds for construction multi-level parking under the plan heads under development urban development funds. We have also adopted public-private partnership model. Due to scarcity of funds, the parking projects have also been taken up by Nordic PPP mode, where the capital cost is cross-subsidized by commercial component, like we have done in case of Kamla Nagar parking. Public This is basically a model for public-private partnership. There are provisions in MPD that minimum area of the plot should be 1000 square meter. FAR for commercial development allowed is 25%. Maximum FAR of the commercial development should be 100. Maximum FAR means if plot size is 1000 square meters, 100 FAR means 100 the equal amount, the equal area like 100 square or 1000 square meter can be constructed as commercial. No parking spaces for commercial area. Number of parking spaces for commercial area 3 ECS per 100 square meters. Parking spaces to be provided in addition to the permissible parking spaces on maximum FAR. 3 times additional space for parking component shall be provided. Like if we create a commercial facility there, for that facility we require 3 ECS per 100 square meter. Then in addition to this, we have to create 3 times parking spaces in that particular area for creating the parking spaces. So maximum ground coverage is 66.6%. Permissible height is restricted to permissible height in of a land use in which the plot falls. Like in residential area, it is restricted to 17.5 meter, and commercial area it is more than that. Number of basements, there is no limit, subject to adequate safety measures and approval from the agency like Delhi Fire Service and other agencies. Funding capital cost to be borne by the private concessionaire, and parking charges and lease rental from the commercial space to be retained by the concessionaire throughout the concession period. For this is a model is created which by which the cost of construction is subsidized. Now parking demand on mixed land use and commercial loads and details of authorized parking under municipal corporations. So actually this is based on a study which I myself conducted in the year 2010 and 11. Maybe this might not have, this may not be relevant on present day, but this can give an idea how the situation in Delhi is growing regarding parking, demand and parking, availability of parking. So if we see, then on mixed land use road, in this survey we have considered only the mixed land use road and commercial roads. So if we see the total requirement in one mixed land use road was 97,781 car spaces, and proposed, we also proposed some spaces which were 93,785 based on the availability of land. So there were some old multi-level parking existing in the time of 80s and 90s. So these are some old parking there, but this Gandhi ground parking near Chandni Chowk is being reconstructed now. So almost 2,500 number of ECS we were already having in 1990s. Multi-level parking project recently completed. This Kamla Nagar automatic parking was constructed for 828 ECS. This was fully underground. Then Parade Ground in front of Red Fort, Model Town. So total number of parking spaces we provided 3,717 in previous decade, we can say. So details of existing parking facilities. There are some surface parking also, authorized parking. So now the municipal corporation has been divided into 3 corporations: south, north, and east. So these are the available parking spaces. The total ECS are 72,437. This is authorized parking under the jurisdiction of municipal corporations. Parking provided by other agencies. So just I have shown that Connaught Place surface of street parking is run by NDMC. Baba Khadak Simar, there is automated parking by NDMC. Sarojini Nagar automated NDMC. Delhi High Court. This has been developed by PWD. International Airport. The agency Dial has constructed. Rohini West Metro. Multi-level ramp parking DMRC. And the community center Pitampura multi-level parking by DDA. These are few examples. Proposed multi-level parking projects under Nord DMC. These projects are being developed presently. These are in progress. Like Shiva Market, 500 parking spaces. Rani Bagh Market, 600 spaces. Shastri Park near Karol Bagh, 700. Kutub Road, it is near New Delhi Station, 170. Eidgah, there is a proposed multi-level parking of 3,400 square meters. There is a big plot available with Nord DMC in a very congested area. So now Delhi Metro has also approached us to provide that land for construction of a metro station. So now the project is being developed jointly that underground, there will be an underground metro station, and above that station we will construct parking for 3,400 spaces. So now this project has been integrated recently. Before, I think 1 or 2 months before, an MOU was signed between DMRC and North Delhi Municipal Corporation. Otherwise, earlier we were planning to construct a multi-level parking only. So that will be beneficial to the public at large. So these are also smaller parking which are under construction. As existing parking demand versus supply, I have shown you from the survey that 97,000 ECS are required on commercial and MLU roads. Considering the growth of 6%, this is calculated up to 2018, 1,47,000 ECS are required. Now total availability of parking is 72,000. So we are still short of 74,000 ECS, which is a result of which gives to public unauthorized parking. So now we come to the smart parking, the use of technology. Smart parking management, use of technology case study. So what is smart parking? Smart parking is a parking strategy that combines technology and human innovation in an effort to use a few resources as possible, like fuel, time, and space, to achieve faster, easier, and denser parking of vehicles. For the majority of the time, they remain ideal. I think my presentation is long because of time constraint. I am running fast. So this is smart parking solutions, parking demand assessment, as I earlier told, to make available adequate, authorized, and organized parking spaces. New design and construction techniques need to be put in place to ensure optimal utilization of land. Real-time information related to parking spaces availability. Rationalization of parking rates based on parking type of parking, location, demand, and category of the area. Dynamic pricing rate based on peak hours and slack hours. This we can also do. Payment system through various e-transaction modes like Paytm and other many modes are in use nowadays. Increase focus on advanced technologies in areas of access control system, protection and monitoring system, and vehicle surveillance together with mobile-based applications, suitable parking policy enforcement. So these are some smart parking solutions. These are parking management issues to promote the public for the use of authorized parking. So we have to educate the public. We have to sensitize the public that they should opt for the authorized parking space. Otherwise, this gives to the congestion on for the traffic on the road. To demoralize the public for user unauthorized parking, there should be penalty provisions to provide better and effective on-street parking management system, to promote and boost the public for use of public transport, to educate public regarding traffic rules by public and private partnership, effective user information system with the help of signboards. The level of mechanization and technology adoption in the management of parking areas remains low. The concept of MLCP has met with limited success. The parking fees being charged has not generated adequate revenue for ULBs due to current pricing structure. The violation of laws related to parking in India are not stringent. Several risks and challenges need to be addressed. Most Indian cities do not have dedicated parking facility, even for cities and areas which have defined spaces. Smart parking management system are lacking. So we have to adopt these to make the cities smarter. On-street parking management. Good on-street parking management can end on-street parking chaos. Actually, construction of a parking facility or multi-level parking is a tedious process which requires funds, land, space, and also time. 2-3 years are consumed in creating a facility. So best solution, short-term solution is the on-street parking. If we are able to manage. I also suggested that we can make the unauthorized parking spaces as authorized parking spaces. The difference only is that the unauthorized parking spaces are not managed. If we are able to manage those parking spaces, the problem can be solved to some extent. So for this, we can adopt on-street parking management. So parking management helps local shoppers, resident bus services, bicycle users, pedestrians, and all type of vehicle users. It can erase local traffic problem at low cost and can be implemented in relatively lesser time. Actually, no much cost is involved in creation of these parking systems. Only we have to put the guards or some persons for managing the parking and charge the parking charges from the users. It reduces parking conflicts. Good on-street parking management is essential for every busy areas of every town. It makes off-street parking facilities more financially viable by improving the willingness of motorists to pay and by increasing the uses of off-street parking. The negative impact of roadside parking: reduce effective width of carriageway. As I have shown in the first figure, slowing down travel speed of vehicles, increased commuting time, wasted fuel, air pollution, wear and tear of vehicle, stress and frustrated motorists, deterioration of air qualities, wastage of precious time, delay in this. Everybody knows these things. Measures for reducing vehicular pollution, effective traffic management, effective parking management, emission reduction by improving engine technology or using alternate fuels, improving lubricant quality, carpooling, odd even plying. This we have done many times in Delhi. Odd even, information dissemination, mass awareness, promote use of non-motorized vehicles such as cycles. So some technologies are also available nowadays, like mobile app. So we can make use of this, and these are more helpful in managing the parking spaces and parking demand. In fast-growing economy, number of private vehicle users increases. The various mobile-based applications have been developed using Android iOS platform. Application modules are registration, login, selecting date and timing, or how many days, parking slot selection, price calculation and payment. App also supports current booking and advanced booking option. If the booked vehicle doesn't enter the parking slot, the 15 minutes or so, booking is automatically cancelled. So these are the features available on mobile app. Key features of technology: identifying free parking Free slot identification is verified using infrared sensors authenticating user vehicle. Some RFID tags, just like in toll tax we are doing, that can be put, and the vehicle can be identified before entering the parking slot. Classifying parking slot. The parking slots may accommodate large or small size cars. So in RFID, we can store the user's data, like registration number, name, telephone number, and that is also immediately reflected on scanning the RFID. Navigation to the parking slot. We can also make use of a GPS system to navigate to the particular parking slot. So for this, mobile apps are used. Visualization. Owner of the parking centers can visualize the booking details, time to time slot availability. The slot can be pre-booked also before reaching the parking area. You can pre-book the slot for a certain time. So your car can be parked on that slot. Some detection sensors are there, which reads the number, automatic number plate recognition, which also reads the number plate. These are installed in many places. Parking access control. A parking access control devices and software to manage the track and access. Parking access control machines can be configured with a keypad and code access. Some smart parking technologies. When the vehicle enters, this is automated parking payment system. Vehicle enters, the driver takes a ticket from the machine that generates sequentially. At exit, customer approaches the integrated point of sale POS. The ticket is scanned using a barcode. The system generates the rate and payment. So these are being used at many places, like in Connaught Place. We are using automated parking. We are using electronic guidance system and vacancy display board. This I have also shown you, have been installed in Connaught Place. This is a mobile app. Significant progress toward digital technology has improved, promoted mobile application-based solutions for traffic decongestion. Citizen app provides real-time information, search parking, advanced reservation, online payment, and navigation. And these are some security and services surveillance systems. So these are for the safety of the parking area. Unlike analog CCTV surveillance cameras of the past, network IP surveillance cameras no longer need hardwired into the property. No wiring is required for installing these. Only these work on the network. IP security cameras currently available in use. These used with the help of internet connections. Advantages of parking lot security system: deter thieves from targeting customers, prevent car thefts, can record license plate number, which can be helpful in prevent false liability claims, prevent theft of store property, can help settle auto collision disputes, can help you get a discount or a reduced rate from your insurance provider, prevent terrorism. So these are some. I will have a quick look on these projects. These are recently constructed by municipal corporation for 1,000 cars underground parking. This is for 110 cars at Model Town. This is a stack parking constructed behind Sila Cinema. It looks like this. This is a two-level parking system. This is in Karol Bagh area. This is at Krishna Nagar. So I have also visited before creating actually this parking infrastructure in Delhi, and before implementing the concept of parking management, I have visited with my team to abroad locations like Italy, Milan, and Greece. So I have seen some parking projects there. These are some details there, details of those parking projects. So the technology has been provided by Provident Technologies. This was constructed in 2005. Area upload was this. This was three level parking. Number of ECs was 1100. And this was fully automatic parking. These are some photographs. I have visited this parking at Greece. This was under construction at that time, and this is on-street parking in the city of Milan, Italy. This is my team who visited the Europe in August 2008, just with the intent to implement the technologies in Delhi and other cities. So this is all about my presentation. So I think I have taken much time.
So thank you so much, Sandeep ji, for sparing your valuable time. And if any of the participants is having any query, so you are kindly requested to unmute yourself and you can ask. As far as parking system is concerned. And for information, all I have an idea to cater with this parking system, because nowadays, we are facing a lot of problem in parking, not only in the cities, but also from the not only in the residential area, but also in the commercial area.
Yeah.
I was having one concept of making one lift type parking system for individual household, and that will not cost more than 30,000-40,000 rupees. So each and every household can install that lifted parking, so that other vehicles can run on that road, because we are having houses on both the sides, and when we are parking our cars on either side, so no one can move from that street, or no car can pass through from street, and at some of the places even scooter cannot pass from the street. So if we will have some lifting kind of a parking system for individual household, and that can be installed in the outside the house, so that they can park their car and lift it up, so that the rest of the road can be used for moving vehicles. So I think
definitely
that will be a very great solution. So if some of my student agrees to work on that, so we will definitely develop that system. So any of them, because I need some mechanical background for the same. So I just talked to one of the professor from mechanical engineering department. So maybe in days to come, we can have that technology. So thank you so much, Dr. Sharma ji.
Thank you, sir.
Any other participant having any query? Dr. Kaleem? Dr. Kaleem is a very regular kind of our participant, and I always see his face. And this is so nice of you, sir. You are always connected. So if you are having any query, Kaleem ji. Yeah, Mr. Vasanta.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, nowadays people regularly.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes,
sir.
sir. Just a moment, sir. Mr. Vasanta is saying something, sir. Just a moment, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Vasanta, you can continue.
Sir, nowadays the people are facing regularly this problem, sir. Sir, are saying several parking system. Sir, which is the best method Is this the best method to accommodate the more number of vehicles, sir?
So
You
Dr.
are saying
Sharma,
30-degree parking and 45-degree parking and 90-degree angle of parking. Is this the best method to accommodate more number of vehicles, sir?
More number of
vehicle, sir.
Vehicle?
Which is the best method to accommodate more number of vehicles, sir?
more number of vehicles, definitely it is a multi-level parking. You are talking of surface parking. Hello,
Surface
you are,
parking.
yeah,
Surface
surface
parking.
surface parking in 90-degree parking, the maximum number of cars can be accommodated. But there is a disadvantage while while deparking the car, while taking out the car, there may be chances of accident if someone is not regulating from the behind. So there is a running street behind this, so one can hit the car to the running traffic. So there is some disadvantage. Either this should be properly managed by putting some marshals there. So that is the 90-degree is the maximum space in 90-degree utilization. But you have to put the marshals there. In case of parallel parking, the number of cars are parked are less, but the parking and deparking is easier comparatively.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Kaleem, are you there?
Sir, I think he got disconnected.
Okay. So I would like to thank my expert for sparing his valuable time, and he is having, COVID also. So, sir, you are inspiration to all of us. That after the having, because we are very afraid of that COVID, but looking at you, that now we got something like strength kind of a thing, because all of us are working in the offices. We are coming in the offices. So you are great inspiration to all of us. So thank you so much for sparing your time, and beside of your health, you took that lecture in a very efficient manner, and definitely we will interact with you in further, so that we can have some of the solution for Delhi. If some
Sure, sir. Anytime welcome. Anytime welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir,
Uh,
for your lecture. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Sharma. Thank you, Sharma ji. Thank you, Mr. Goyal.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.